How's it going, everybody? Doing a soft-spoken video game ramble and another drink review here today. I forgot where tonight, I should say. Well, no, this is going up Tuesday. I'm filming it Monday night. I've got a Bang Nectarine Blueberry energy drink here. I don't have the autofocus on. I got this one and another one. I forget what that one is. Hibiscus, raspberry, something or other. From Stop and Shop the other day. It was like 2 for $4, so spending too much money on energy drinks and drinks in general. I actually did see, I want to pick it up tomorrow when I go to work, because whenever I get to Massapequa, I go to the bagel place there in the morning before get onto the bus, and I saw Strawberry Arizona in there, and I've not seen that before. At least I don't recall seeing it, so I want to pick that up for my first Arizona review. But yeah, this is going to be a soft-spoken video game ramble here. Mainly just kind of rambling, and I'll drink this as well. Mainly just rambling about my upcoming, video game, not say habits, but what I have in store for myself for video games. That's not bad. That's actually a good blend of both of those flavors. Decent aftertaste as well. That's a pretty good one. It's nice and crisp, that one. I like that blending. Not a massive fan of nectarine or blueberry, to be honest with you. But I kind of like the way that blends together. Blueberry's not too bad, I guess, but that's a pretty good one. I'll continue with that review here as I kind of go from rambling about video games and whatnot. But there goes the train. I was looking, after I did my Xbox One game collection video the other day, I'm looking at it, and I mentioned I have so many of these freaking games, and, I did at a point, I got a flood of gifts from you guys, and once again, thank you. But I also started picking them up myself when they're cheap or whatever, and next thing you know, I have a ton of games, and I haven't played a bunch of them, and I'm looking, I have not even turned on the Xbox One in at least a week, if not a little longer, maybe even 2 at this point. I'm just not feeling the Xbox One right now. I don't know if I just want to, and here's the thing, it's maybe I want to get a new system. And they've been, the bundles, and they usually come with a Gamer Extra controller. The Series X's have been popping up on Best Buy and other places as well. And they're only $50 more with the bundles. It's not even that bad. It's actually a pretty good deal. But I'm I can pull the trigger on that, and then I'm I have no interest right now. And I went from having a really high level of interest to none, and part of the reason is the Xbox One gets a lot of these games. So it doesn't look as good. It looks a little bit worse. I don't care, I might just end up waiting. Now, I don't know for sure. My mind can change again at some point in the next week, 2 weeks, who the fuck knows. I might end up waiting another year so that hopefully these chips start getting manufactured a lot more, and then just maybe grab a PS5 or still a Series X, or go the route I originally wanted to do, which is a Series S and a PS5. Who knows, though? But honestly, what I want to do, and I don't know if I'm going to do it later tonight. I'll probably end up doing it tomorrow. Yeah, that's good. That is a nice blend of flavors on that. It's actually pretty refreshing, too, oddly enough. A lot of the energy drinks aren't that refreshing. There was another one I had recently, though, I thought was. I can't remember what it was. But I really want, I want to grab more older games, honestly. I'm a bit of an older game kick. I'm going to probably buy a few things maybe tomorrow on eBay when I'm at work during lunch. I have a couple things I'm watching that I might pick up. One Super Famicom game, an original Famicom game, or possibly another N64 game. But I've just been into the older games, and I'm even talking like not super like I'm talking like PS2, Xbox, GameCube, and kind of into the NES. It's just I don't know. I'm feeling it. Like I want to pop in Final Fantasy 3, 6, and I want to do another playthrough of that just for myself because I fucking love that game. It's top 5 game for me of all time. I want to play that and really invest the time into it and get pulled back into it because I'm not feeling like I look at the Xbox One like I got that game the Phobia game, played it for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. It was kind of cool. The controls are sluggish, but I never went back to it. I haven't been feeling it in terms of like wanting to go back and play anything. And it's like almost like, oh, maybe I'll play Resident Evil Village again. Like I'd rather almost go back to a game I've already played. It's kind of like, oh. And I could break out of that. If I bought something like The Quarry, I would immediately throw it in and probably play the shit out of it. I pre-ordered I'll get that next week. I pre-ordered the Cowabunga collection, but once again, those are all the older Ninja Turtle games from the Game Boy, NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, the arcade versions, and whatnot. So it's like they're old games anyway. I'm just not. I don't know. Sometimes this happens to me, and a lot of you guys probably have been the same if you're heavy into games. You go through cycles of what you're interested in and stuff, and it's just the Xbox One's just not doing it for me, honestly. There's nothing I want to just like throw in and go to town on. Unfortunately, but it happens. I'm looking to actually downsize that collection a little bit. In terms of even some of my other games. Sell a couple things on eBay or something, free up some space, literally. Because I don't have a lot of space. I don't know. Like I said, I'm always eyeing up, a lot of stuff. Like I said, I want to kind of keep pushing the N64s. Excuse me as well. I'm liking this. It's maintaining its taste, too, halfway down. It has a similar taste to another one. I feel like some of these your drinks say they're different things, and then you like look on the back and they have similar fucking ingredients, like in terms of like the flavors they're putting in there. And you're like, yeah, a lot of these taste the same. But there's a lot of just other games. Just the older stuff I'm interested in, honestly. And it's funny. I was thinking about it on the way home. I was walking home from the train earlier today, and I was like, I was probably saying this out loud because I tend to talk to myself a lot when I'm walking the streets, but. I was like, I can like, I don't buy a lot of games, newer games, at the $60 price point. I will usually wait for them to go on sale, unless it's a game I absolutely need to have. Like Halo Infinite, I paid the $60. Resident Evil Village, I paid the $60 as well. I didn't pay the $60 for a lot more. Even this whole generation of Xbox One, like I did not pay a full $60 for a lot of the games. Even the ones I had previously sold. I just don't like it. I'm thinking, but then I'm like, you know what? I can get a couple older games. I mean, I could drop 50 on a PS2 game, a harder to find PS2 game if I wanted to. And the thing is with me, and maybe some of you have the same kind of feeling, is I don't like to, like in my mind, I'm like, I gotta pay $50 for a N64 game. Like, no, it's old. It should cost $5. In reality, though, those games should actually probably be more expensive in some cases than the newer stuff because it's vintage now and it's just harder to find, obviously. But it's like, I can do that. You know, I remember someone saying that a long time ago on my old channel. I was like, fuck. I want to, if any of you want to check out, actually, real quick, if you want to, I've talked about my channel a million times. It's still sitting there with like 300 something subs and a shit ton of fucking videos. Back from '09 to up until like 18, I put my last video up. If you want to see, if you're into the video game stuff and you want to see gameplay and like older pickups of mine, go check out Buried Under Cliches. Look that up if you can. It might not pop up because, like I said, there's not a lot of traffic there that would lead to that channel. But I have a shit ton of. I actually like going back to that channel and just kind of looking at it as an archive for like my old garage sale pickups. I'm like, holy shit, I got this, I got that. Like, fuck, 2009 was a fucking, and even 10. Whew, I got some good shit. Anyway, back then, I mean, I was watching a lot of other people's game videos and shit, collections, pickups, and what have you. And somebody was like, oh, the newer systems at the time, this was 360, PS3, Wii, I guess, but they were like, I can, and games are coming out at $50, $60 back then too, right? No, they were still 50. Fuck, I can't remember. Was it 360? No, they weren't $60. They were 50 when they came out, right? God, I can't even fucking remember. Either way, the person's like, I can buy a new game for 50, or I can get and this is back, 2009, so you're looking at 13 years. I can get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 NES games. No, that's not the case now. That was like right in the boom was coming for the vintage stuff and the retro shit, I should say. But the boom didn't completely hit until it was happening for sure. But you could still get shit for fairly alright prices. Because even I look back and I've got Shadow Dancer complete for fucking $9. That probably sells for 40 or 50 now, which, over 13 years, a price jump of, the $30, $40 really isn't that insane, but you could collect even then, even up until maybe 2010, 11, for not, some games are still not overly priced, but expensive, like an Earthbound, shit like that, whatever. But now, I mean, it's like, oh my god, like you can still find deals, but it's tough. But that's just how I am, with part of me I would love to just fully go back and almost go like retro. And I'm talking, I could even say like 360 shit and PS3, but, and not to say I wouldn't play newer stuff, but at not a rate that I was. Like, I'm not going to go nuts with the collecting on whatever newer system I get. Although if I get a Series, because a Series S obviously doesn't have a disk drive, if I get a Series X, I already have a built-in collection from this shit here that can be played on that system as well. So, like Halo Infinite, Resident Evil Village, that Phobia one too, apparently. A bunch of shit. Yeah, this is good stuff though. Nectarine Blueberry. I would give this one probably about a 7.5. Actually, it's pretty good. For sure. It's got a good blending of the taste. It is maintaining that taste throughout. I'm almost done with this. I have like one more swig left here. Maybe a little more. I'd go 7.5 on that. If you're into Bang, check this one out. I don't know if this is a new flavor or not, or it was new to the Stop and Shop. Pretty good one there. Pretty refreshing, actually, for an energy drink. It's crisp, and it's got a good blend of those flavors, which sometimes you don't get with drinks in general. Sometimes it's hard for them to blend those drinks, but anyway, I spent a few more minutes here just finishing up this video game ramble. There's something to it, and a big part of it is nostalgia. And I think if you collect older games, or you grew up on those games, and you get that feeling, sometimes you'll get one of the games you really enjoyed as a kid again, and you throw it in 10 minutes, the nostalgia's gone, you're like, that was a waste. Now, certain games, like a UN Squadron, Area 88, it's still fucking great and fun to play. ActRaiser is another one. Shit like Super Mario World. I'm just using Nintendo 64 as an example here. And even the Paperboy, too, to an extent, I was enjoying. The Scoob game on N64 might suffer a little bit from that. I kind of give it more of a play to see. Certain games don't hold up more than just a memory, but certain old games obviously do. I kind of want to do that. I don't know. The game's cheaper. Like the one game I'm looking at, it's $11.99. It's not a bad price, We'll see though, because my mind too with that, like I bounce back and forth. I'll be like, oh, here we go, and then I stop giving a shit 2 weeks later, Excuse me. We'll see though. We'll see if I can continue to, get it done. I just like the older stuff. I mean, I hope you guys like the old stuff too. I know a lot of people prefer newer type stuff, but whenever I start this video game channel, hopefully, like I said, about in November, I'm gonna do a blend of both. I don't know if anybody can let me know if you watch this far into the video, how I don't know how I would get the. I don't know how I would get older games to play through the capture card if I even can. I mean, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'll just fucking use the webcam. It's not that big a deal, but, we'll see. We shall see. But, yeah. Just a bit of a video game ramble here, more about how I'm, kind of position myself in the coming months with video games. And, like I said, I'm in a good spot. Long Island is ripe, as I say, with retro game stores. And it kind of, listen, the thing with these retro game stores is you can essentially charge whatever you want for these games, although it's harder because there are a lot of video games around on Long Island, retro game stores. So, but still, it's like, there's no value for these. I mean, a lot of people go by eBay, which annoys me, and I sell stuff on eBay, and it's just annoying. Or like, eBay is like the end-all, be-all for how much something should go for. It's like, what the fuck, But I'm lucky in a lot of ways, because there is one in Patchogue, there's one in Bayshore, the Oakdale, the one I go to a bunch. I want to check out the one in Patchogue. I've been to one in Bayshore too. It's another video game trading post. There's those three. There's the other game trading post. Actually, there's another one opening up at the Deer Park outlets. They have the one in Broadway Mall. I don't know if that one's open yet. And they have the one in Levittown that used to be in the Big Chief building, the basement of the Big Chief building, Massapequa. And then they opened up the one in Sunrise Mall, but that's gone because the mall's done. There's the Levittown one as well. No, that's East Meadow, I think. That's in the Unique Bazaar, which is a really good one, but I don't get to that one a lot now because it's further away. There's one in Smithtown. There's a Play and Trade too. I think it moved. It sucks. It was fucking right over in Bayshore. It's like a quick walk. That one moved though. I think that's in Selden now. There's a bunch, and there's one in Babylon by the train station. There are a good amount, and I'm probably missing 5 or 6 or 7 of them. And I'm not counting like the city or Queens or Brooklyn or anything, because I don't know what they're. I'm sure there's plenty of them floating around there too. But I'm lucky, and I'm in a good spot where there's 3 within. I don't even need to get a ride there. I've said this a million times in a ride, but I could walk to the one in Bayshore. I can take the train to the one in Oakdale. Just walk from the train. And Patchogue, the one's like fucking 5 minutes from the train, so it's like a 15-minute train ride. So that's kind of great for if you're into retro games. They can kind of some definitely sell games lower than others, but they can kind of keep each other in check to an extent. And the one in Oakdale has very fair prices in my opinion. And I think I'm at a different point now to where I don't look at it to $20 as big a deal as I maybe would have a few years ago, and just been like, oh, it's too much, man. I'm like, we kind of get more of an understanding, and my mind has changed differently on that. It also depends on where you're at financially as well, to where you can throw money around at things. Not that, throwing 20 at a game is not ridiculous to begin with. And I would never go nuts. Like, I'm not going to sit here and drop $150 on a retro game. I would never do that. I could have $1,000,000 and I still be like, nah, I'm not going to do it. I'd find a different way to play it through emulation or whatever, which I don't even, never do. The biggest I have is the person who gifted me the stick for the PlayStation Mini. That thing's like the emulation. That's the emulation I do. That's where I would play the Final Fantasy VI. But yeah, anyway, I'm rambling here now. But I kind of gotta stop now because I want to kind of do a few things before I go to sleep. But yeah, thanks everybody for checking this out. Check Bang if you're into Bang energy drinks. Check this one out, Nectarine Blueberry. It's a solid 7.5. And everybody have a good day.